So again, hello everyone. My name is Irmak Güzey. I'm from Boğaziçi University, Istanbul, Turkey. And today I want to present to you human motion prediction with graph neural networks, our project for this workshop. Now let's start with our motivation. Kinematics of an articulated human body by its nature is manufactured by the motions of the joints and the relations between them. In this project, we wish to model human body motion by anticipating the movement of its joints and their relations. While doing so, we use some of the joints' movements as reference points. And thanks to this kinetics between the joints and relations, the human body can be represented as a graph structure. That's why we propose to use graph neural networks to address this problem. In addition, graph neural networks is also a good approach because they can grasp similar dynamics through a human body, such as the resemblance between right arm and left arm. Graph neural networks can capture the dependence between the nodes, where the environment is represented as a graph structure. Both interaction networks and propagation networks are different variations of graph neural networks. And in environments with multiple interacting objects, interaction networks takes objects and relations between them as input, and it calculates the effects of subsequent objects to each other by using relational reasoning. And then it uses these effects, and by applying object dynamics, it predicts the future state of the environment. On top of interaction networks, with propagation networks, instant effect of an object in a state is not only propagated to the subsequent neighbor, but it also propagates to the whole structure. And with propagation networks, that is why we can handle problems such as Newton's cradle. And also, this is the reason why we in particular propose to use propagation networks. This is a graphical illustration of our framework. As you can see, propagation network is used as the core mechanism. In the environment, we represent the human body with a graph structure, where nodes represent the joints and the edges represent the relations between them. So here we first extract joint and relation attributes from the dataset. Joint attributes consist of positions and velocities of the joints, and relation attributes consist of the vectorial distance between them. Here, the node with the gray filling represents the joint which the system knows the position of through the whole trajectory. And the other nodes represent the joints to be predicted. After graph extraction, these attributes are first encoded by using joint and relation encoder MLPs relatively. And then, encoded attributes are passed to the propagation part. In this part, effect of joints and relations are propagated to the whole structure, step by step, by evaluating the propagating effects of attributes in each step. For example, first, encoded relation attributes and the joint propagating effects from the previous step are given to the relation propagator. And MLP evaluates the propagating effect of relations in the current step. Then, these relation propagating effects are accumulated, and with the encoded joint attributes and propagating effects of joints in the previous step, pass to the joint propagator, which then calculates the propagating effects of the joints. This process of using propagator MLP subsequently is notated as a propagation step. And with each propagation step, extent of the objects that the information is passed gets larger. For example, if there was only one propagation step, only the neighboring joints of the reference point would hold the information of the effect of the motion of reference point. On the other hand, if there were more propagation steps, then the information would also be passed to the non-consequent neighbors with a diminishing impact. Finally, after some number of propagation steps are satisfied, the joint and relation attributes in the next time step is extracted from the final propagating effects. And with this, the prediction of the joints for one time step is evaluated. But in our system, we don't only wish to predict for one time step, we wish to predict the whole trajectory. That is why predicted attributes are used in the following time steps to have further predictions. If you're interested to know more about the underlying network, you can visit #WEDO32 channel in Slack. This paper is presented in the main conference of ICRA 2020, and they introduce more complicated approach with propagation networks for their core mechanism. Now, as experimental setup, for training and testing the model, we used Karlsruhe Institute of Technology Whole Body Human Motion Database. It consists of 3D positions of joints through multiple movement trajectories. For now, we used only 2 walking trajectories of the same type to train and test the model. And here are our results. These animations represent example predicted and ground truth motions. Green points represent the predictions and red points represent the ground truth positions. Predictions are made with a propagation network that is trained with 10 propagation steps and with right hand given as reference point, meaning the motion of the right hand is known through the trajectory while training. To further investigate the results, here we show the predicted and ground truth positions of different joints through this trajectory, again with the right hand known. We can see right elbow and right hand joints on the left side and left knee and foot joints on the right side. The blue line represents the predictions and orange line represents the ground truth positions. And as we can see, while right elbow's predictions are around 20 millimeters far from the ground truth, left knee and foot joints' predictions are about 100 to 200 millimeters far. And with this, we can say that less accuracy is observed in further joints. Also, to reflect the effect of reference points with more details, this graph shows the average error in millimeters through time steps in trained trajectories. With each line, different joints are given as reference points. And as you can see, the error is higher when only right hand is given to the system compared to when head, hands, and feet are given to the system. Thus, we can say that the model performance is better as the number and extent of reference points increases. Now we want to show the effect of propagation steps that are used to train the model to accuracy. Again, with the same logic, we expect to have better accuracy with increasing number of propagation steps. This graph shows the average error when model is trained with 3 propagation steps. Then, we evaluated the errors of the models with more propagation steps used. And in this graph, we can observe that the error is less when more propagation steps are used in training. So we can conclude that the model performance is better as number of propagation steps increases as well. Finally, as was explained in our approach, the predictions and further time steps are made by using previous predictions. Here we show the effect of using these predictions back to back. This graph shows the average error in millimeters of different models. ChainPropNet notates the model that we use, where attributes are extracted from previous predictions. And one-step PropNet notates the model where attributes are, in each step, extracted from ground truth positions of joints. The error increases by using predictions as attributes, since the errors in predictions has a cumulative impact to the next time steps. Overall, in this work, we propose our propagation networks can be used in human motion prediction, and we believe that the preliminary results are promising. As future work, we wish to compare the proposed model with some state-of-the-art implementations for human motion prediction, investigate the model in details by performing an ablation study where accuracy is evaluated with some subunits of the model is modified, and examine the generalization capabilities of the model with different human bodies. Thank you very much for listening, and I will be more than glad to answer any of the questions if there is any. And